Low energy, unfocused, foggy? You might be dehydrated. Whether it's hot yoga, over 100-degree weather, or too much sun. Gatorlight, with a specialized blend of 5 electrolytes, was scientifically designed to help move fluids into the body faster for rapid rehydration. Shop now at retailers nationwide. Gatorlight hydrates faster than water. Is it in you? Symptoms noted are signs of mild to moderate dehydration. Consult a healthcare professional if symptoms persist.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal. You had plans for the last days of summer. And back-to-school shopping has its own plans. School supplies, dorm essentials, your list doesn't stop. Neither does the spending. But when you pay in full with PayPal, you can pay over time. No interest, no fees. Check out with PayPal and get back to summer. Subject to approval. Learn more at paypal.com/payinfor. PayPal Inc. NMLS 910457.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hey, coaches, how are you? Sorry to interrupt here before we get going in the podcast, but I've got a really good opportunity for everybody. You know, Huddle's great. It's expensive, but all of us don't have those NBA budgets, and we want the chart charts. We want the analytics. I'm a stats teacher. We want all of that stuff specifically built for coaches. We want it and we need it, but we don't have the budget to do it. Well, come over at aihoopscoach.com, and find a Huddle alternative, one that's going to change the way you look at it. And it's not, and you can still be able to take your wife out to dinner or your husband out to dinner. So come over to check it out at aihoopscoach.com.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome. Coaching Youth Hoops.
Coach,
how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. It's summer. Teachers are always happy in the summer.
Almost, yeah. Well, you're done right now. I suppose
it's summer.
Yeah.
It's summer, man.
You're going. By the time people hear this, are you back from vacation or are you going on vacation? What's your time on vacation?
I'm fishing. I'm probably fishing at this point.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, the great thing about you've been to my lake house. The great thing is this weekend, it was going to I didn't go up because it was going to be cold, and it was not cold as relative. It was like in the 50s, but it was a little rainy and cold. It's like, I just didn't go up. I stayed home, did some work. But if it would have been 80 and sunny, I would have jumped in the car and, been there in like an hour and a half. So that's the nice thing. But yeah.
Your little cabin in the woods.
It's a little cabin. It's a house. It ain't a cabin. I do not refer to it as a cabin ever.
I'm joking.
I grew up going to a cabin. I know what cabins are. For people that have watched on Golden Pond kind of thing, those are cabins. Rustic, yeah. This is not a cabin. This is a house.
Beautiful place.
It's a beautiful house. Yes. All right. So, but before we jump into I have a lot of stuff to say about today's topic. Before we do that, let's remind them of practice plans and the discount that we're giving because we're over 250 episodes.
Yeah, we're over 250 episodes. If you missed the last one we were talking about, we celebrated our 250th episode recorded. So we are doing 25% off for the month of June of 2025. All our practice plans. So go to coachingyouthhoops.com and you'll see on the homepage, it says get started. Click that button, go through that process to create a season-long practice plan. Use podcast 250 as the promo code, and you'll get 25% off for the month of June only of 2025.
I know. We're not super creative, but it's semi-creative, I guess.
Yeah.
It's an easy
big milestone. So we want to share it with all the people who got us here and keep us going. And
Wait till we get to 1,000 episodes, people. You won't believe what we'll be giving away. Oh, I'm laughing.
So it took us how many years to do
It was
250?
yeah,
It was 2023, right?
2022, right? It was
So
2022.
what does the math say in there, math
It
teacher?
says
How many
it
is it going
says
to
I'm
take?
not big. I won't make it that long.
You won't make it to 1,000?
We'll see.
You threw it out there. We got to at least make it to 1,000.
Oh, well, we might. So today we're talking about communication between players.
Yeah,
which
and
is something really big.
Right. Yeah, and helping players. And again, we have to remember we're teachers, and things come up. Well, how about I just tell you a story that happened where this came from, and maybe that'll kind of help. I have a player. She's amazing, a young lady, very aggressive, great on defense, loves basketball. She's the gym rat, and she loves to win, and she loves to play defense, if you can believe that. And and she holds her teammates accountable, and so sometimes that can come off a little rough. And so we had a team meeting the other day to talk about how do you talk to your teammates? And I started off just saying, hey, we're all after the same thing. We want to get better. We want to see success on the court, right? So when your peers tell you hey, you should have gotten that rebound, or hey, you should be going, you should be diving on the floor like Coach Flitter tells us, that you can say, you and Steve and I can say the same thing and say it two different ways, and somebody might take that as you're attacking them versus a place from someone's heart that they care, right? So teaching our young players how to communicate with one another is absolutely key. And you said you had a lot of stuff to add to that. So curious what you teach your kids.
So I always say that you have to correct before you have to learn to correct before, not after. So an example is big part of the game, you need the rebound. And let's say Devontae doesn't get the rebound and then you get mad. Well, that's not really Devontae's fault. It is Devontae's fault because maybe he didn't box out correctly. However, you should have communicated to him before the actual box out on the free throw or whatever it was. So let's say you're lining up on free throws. You should go, hey, Devontae, this is a big one. Make sure you get low. And then you should tell Devontae what to help him. Hey, remember, this guy likes to spin. Get low. So part of communication is not correcting after a mistake, not yelling, you missed curfew, and I didn't tell you what time curfew was. Right. It's saying, hey, as they're walking out the door, remember, Drew, who we talked to this afternoon, curfew's 10 p.m. Make sure you're back before 10, bud. Well, have fun. Not he shows up at 10:30 and I go, why are you so late? Blah, blah, blah. I'm yelling at him. He didn't know what curfew was. It's those reminders. They're nice and they're taken so much better. As far as a leader, you want to tell them those things beforehand. And that's a really hard thing for youth kids or any kid to do, is to do that before, because you know what's going to happen, or that hey, they didn't box out well, or they that was a stupid foul. You don't go up and say, hey, that was a stupid foul. What are you doing? Say, hey, that's all right. Next time. Hey, remember that these officials are really calling it really tight. Next time, make sure you're giving so give the correction, preferably before the mistake. But even if there is a mistake, it's how you approach the wording of it. It's like, that's all right, blah, blah, blah. Because what happens is, I have seen over time, the conflict happens when A gets mad with B because B didn't do something, and A knows that B can do it, but then says, it's the correction and the tone at which you approach the person matters. And kids are not, that's not a skill or a muscle memory that they have. And I think it's gotten worse over the last 10 years. With the phones and the electronics and them not communicating together as much.
Definitely.
So us having to teach them, so we actually sit in a classroom early in the year and we'll practice. I'll give them little 3x5s. Again, I'm old school. Little 3x5s with things written on them. and then they have to, how are you going to handle this situation? And then coaches and I will walk around the room and kind of help them. So they kind of learn, not only the person that's being corrected or whatever the conflict is happening, how do you do it? Because you have to teach them the way you want them to interact. It's not something that can happen easily or quickly at all in any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it. It's
self-correction.
You have to teach them. I did the same thing. We had note cards, and I partnered everyone up. They had to talk about, because we talked about being coachable, and coachable not just by me, but peer to peer. And what is it to be coached? Like, what does that mean? I just asked a simple question of, when does it feel good when coach is coaching you? Like, what I say, what I do, and then when does it not feel so good? And again, I'm talking to a 10U team here, right? So young, third and fourth graders. So they did a really good job of writing, just simple things down of, how can they be more coachable, which they were talking about listening, what is it? How do you feel when somebody, or when somebody you think is not saying something correctly, right? And we talked about it.
And that's a good point. That's a good point, Bill. And then this is where you can help them. It's the reminder, the self-correction before the mistake, but sometimes it has to be after the mistake. And then what's the reaction? My brother and I both, we're in a family that tends to be semi-defensive in things. It's a reaction. I don't know, but we all know it. And it's something we work on all the time. That's a whole different podcast about why that is. But it's like, you gotta know that there's the reaction to it is important too. And you have to teach people how to react back. I'm married to a psychologist, so I'm self-corrected often. Well,
never mind. We'll go there.
It's true.
Well,
what else, Coach?
Well, and I think just to what's important is to have those conversations, let them figure things out, and then have a discussion about it, because they know they're smarter than you give them credit for. It just needs to be highlighted, and you can even get into role playing. If I say it this way versus this way, or your peer said it this way, how does that make you feel, and how would you But you're right, trying to cut it off beforehand. But the beautiful thing about just addressing it in general is, now when someone is not quite using the language they should, talking to a peer, you can now reference and make an easy reference to the conversation. So how do you think that's going to make them feel, right? Based on what we talked about before, right? Easy conversation to have, right? And they'll realize, oh yeah, I probably shouldn't have said it that way, right? The last thing you want to do, though, is discourage the communication between peer to peer. I think that is one of the hardest things to even do. Most peers won't correct one another or don't talk. We always hear on the court, like, just call out the screens, right? So don't discourage someone who's like over the top. Just help them through the process of how to do it.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Labor Day sale and get 35% off paints and stains August 28th through September 9th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
The right way, right?
Right. Over communication is key. A loud gym is a winning gym. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
A loud gym's a winning gym. All right. Anything else, Coach? Give them the reminder
coaches, go
about
check
that.
it. Yeah, go check out coachingyouthhoops.com for the month of June of 2025 to celebrate our 250th podcast. You're going to get 25% off for the month of June 2025. Go to coachingyouthhoops.com. Use the promo code podcast250 on your checkout, and it's only good for the practice plans right on the homepage where it says get started. 25% off.
All right. Next week, Coach. Bye.
Next week.